This is not financial advice, it's just the wine talking.
Hello, welcome to It's Just a Wine. I'm Matilda. Joining me today, as always,
Tell.
Gus.
And Mel.
Let's pour into it. Let me grab my glass and let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
So, who wants to talk about their wins of the week?
Go for it, Tal.
Let's go.
As you girls know, I wrote a goal last week. And was it last year or was it like 2 years ago? I'm not sure. But my goal, I'm joking.
Minor detail.
Yes. Okay. So my goal was to find a job. And that was like at the top. And this week I did 3 interviews, which is never before seen.
That's
and I'm really happy with the results. So yeah, check mark.
Good luck.
Good
That's
luck.
a great win.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Great win.
Thank you.
Amazing.
So for today's episode, actually, I want to dive into how to maximize your paycheck. And we each have different lifestyles and priorities, but I think it's important to know how to manage your paycheck. And it's really not about how much you earn, but it's mostly about how you manage it.
I think it's a great topic because I'm in the process of looking for a new job, right? And it's important for me because I'm going to start fresh and I'm going to see that money coming in and I'm going to know exactly how to use it wisely and for my savings as well for the future. So can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah. It's the best time for you to be
Yeah, of
having this
course.
conversation because once you start Jesus.
Drink
Once you let me take a sip.
Just a sip.
But once you start your onboarding process and you go through all of the documentations that you're gonna go through with HR, you're gonna need to answer these questions.
Yes.
And
so it's a great time to be having this conversation.
Yeah.
I also think it's better for someone that's starting out to look into these things rather than somebody's just working and looking back at it. It's like a task. It becomes a task.
Even for me right now, I was employed as a U.S. employee for the same company that I work for, and I just moved because I moved to Canada. I moved to a Canadian employee, and I have to do that exercise now because things are different and the accounts are different. So, but it feels like a task and a chore to go back and to do this and to make sure that I'm maximizing my pay.
Yeah. And also to say it's task, it's really a task because you're gonna have to call some people. You're gonna have to call some of the places your money's in, and you need to take these steps in order to know where exactly your money's being allocated to and going.
Yeah. So what do you mean exactly by maximizing your pay?
Well, to me, maximizing your pay means figuring out figuring out where every dollar you're earning is being spread out to. You should ask yourselves, is your retirement account set up at work? Are you covered by disability insurance? Where I think people tend to avoid that, but accidents and illnesses are inevitable and these things could happen and you still want to get paid, God forbid anything happens. Also, I think it's important to ask yourself, is your employer helping you save for your future? And these are things that you should consider because you might miss out on opportunities.
How would the employers make sure you...
For example, your employer...
RRSP.
Yeah, they could match your RRSP.
Oh, okay. Yes,
there are different like...
Health insurance.
Yeah, but there are also different like pension plans that your employer offers. And there's so many of them that I don't even know how many there are. That some pension plans offer profit sharing of the company.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the company invests for you of the remaining profits that they get. So there are so many, but this is like really profitable companies and yeah.
But I have a funny story to tell about employer matching RRSP contributions. It's not so funny to me, but it is funny. I was 24 years old.
Again, you forgot your age.
I honestly can't remember how old I was when I started working at Air Canada, and they had some RRSP matching contributions that they did for their employees, and I was 24 years old. I wasn't thinking about retirement. I didn't really care. All I cared about was how much money I was getting in my pocket every pay. That's all that mattered to me. So, very smart Matilda decided to contribute to RRSP at the lowest possible percentage. Because if I contributed more, I would get less, right? Not knowing anything about how any of this works, I just wanted the most money in my pocket.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I could have maximized my pay and my future had I just
Written a different number.
And if you know what the cap is, so if you know what the maximum percentage that your employer matches, today I would tell you, this is not advice, but I would advise you to put the maximum amount towards your RSP where the percentage where, I don't know if this sentence makes sense, but what I'm trying to say is if your employer matches 5%, you should contribute 5%.
Yeah.
Because if you put 2%, they're going to match 2%. They're going to match what you put in. So you have to check how much are they matching? What's their maximum? And I think you should contribute at that percentage to get the most out of your pay.
Yeah.
So, for example, if let's say I'm reading the contract and whatever, and then it says RRSP is in the benefits.
Yes, exactly.
So if I'm writing or signing the contract, let's say I just put a number, if they give that
the contribution.
Yes.
So
for example, my bad, like you just got a job last year, like did they?
It's written on the contract, but you allocate that percentage in your portal.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You'll get a portal. They'll let you know with what company your money's being invested with.
Got it.
Or in. They even tell you what stocks you can put in.
There's like your level of risk.
And I'm sure when you like find a job, there is gonna be an onboarding meeting.
Yeah.
And they will let you know in everything,
And
all
if
the
they
details.
don't, you should ask the questions.
Yes.
I think that's super important.
Yeah. Knowing me, I'll be there and I'm like, yeah, sure. Mhm.
But on your contract, it will be written.
It would, yeah.
Most, and they'll even send you a health benefit form.
Okay, so we're maximizing our gross pay by looking at what our employer is offering and doing what's best for us given our own situations. Now, after everything is taken out, you get what you're left as your net pay. What happens next?
So after taxes and health insurance is taken out, you should try to find out what you're comfortable with to allocating to your wants, needs, and investment savings. So what I would recommend, what I do actually, is I take a step back, budget, creating a plan for your income and your expenses. And then savings, which is you could have an emergency fund or even set aside money for your short-term goals. And then there's investing. And investing is building wealth through stocks, bonds, real estate, or any other financial instruments. And I think that's how you should go by. But it's based off of how much you're comfortable investing. You don't want to invest too much that when you spend, you want to dip into your savings. Mm-hmm. You want to be comfortable. You want to be comfortable with that number, and it should be realistic. So how I would do it is I would start backwards. I know that my taxes and health insurance is this much. So I know that I want to invest over 30% of my pay. So I would gather all of my expenses, see how my expenses, my concrete expenses, which are most of them are my needs, and then I would try to remove anything that's unnecessary. And then actually I was left with 35% of my pay. And then the remaining is for my wants and to spend on whatever I want.
So you budget with the purpose of investing?
Yes.
Oh.
So that's how I would do it. My main goal
Can
is.
you send us your template on your Excel sheet?
But to be honest, my template is made for me. Like I sent it to my boyfriend, and he was like, "I need something else." Because
Well, make something for her.
okay, I will.
Because
For each of us.
actually, yeah, we all need it.
Because I budget with my net pay. Like
Yeah.
that's how I budget with. Because my gross pay, I'm already doing whatever I need to do beforehand with my retirement and whatever I can like deduct taxes with. And then what's left is what's coming into my bank account.
So let's say somebody has debt. Where does debt fall in? Is it like debt repayment is a need,
Yeah.
right? So how do you go about?
Well, debt allocation should be prioritized,
Okay.
and you should allocate a certain percentage for debt repayments. You shouldn't just let it go, and especially when your debt is over 10%, because
The interest.
the interest rate. Sorry, the interest rate is over 10%. Because let's say you have a $5,000 debt at 10% interest rate, and you're basically paying $500 in interest, whereas you have a $10,000 savings account earning 4% interest rate. You're earning $400, and that creates a net loss of $100 a year. So
Got it.
you would rather take out that $5,000, pay your
Debt.
debt. But if your debt is large, you could allocate like, okay, this much of my net pay will go to my debt,
Okay.
and you do that until you
Pay it off.
pay it off. Exactly.
That makes sense. Do you girls have? How do you girls do it? Do you have savings accounts, or do you?
Me automatically weekly I have an amount that goes in my TFSA and in my joint account.
But how much do you guys allocate to your wants and to your needs?
Well, now
Like, seriously.
I am like I said last week. I'm not shopping as much as I did. So now I'm focusing more on my needs, and now I'm checking all of my subscriptions one by one. I did not have a lot, so it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
And last week, I don't know if you heard on the radio, but Netflix is rising
Yeah.
the monthly price. So that is going chow by this week. I don't use Netflix that much. I use
Yeah.
Prime Video and Crave more. But yeah, soon I'm gonna. There's some Apple subscriptions that I didn't even know I had. I think my mom accidentally subscribed and I had no idea. So yeah, I'm taking it step by step, and then that's what I'm gonna focus on and separate my needs.
Yeah.
So she mentioned the Apple subscription. I have one that's like $2.99 for extra cloud storage or whatever. Do you put in those like little amounts that seem insignificant because it's $3 a month? Do those go in your budget?
Yeah, they do. And especially if some things are being taken out every month, that's going in my concrete expenses.
It's like automatically.
Whatever's being automatically taken out, it's in my concrete
So
expenses.
do you look at your statement like every day? or-
Every day. Every statement, no. But my
What?
budgeting template, every
No,
day.
like not budgeting template, like just
Your
your
credit card
transactions.
statement?
You
Yeah,
always
of course.
see it.
I have to see how much I spend to put it on my budgeting template.
And yeah, something we need to learn.
Okay, sometimes when like I take a day or two, but yeah, I take a minute to add it in my budgeting template, because how easy is it to like get out of budget? Like
Yeah.
if you
Yes.
think about it, every time you step out the door, you know those
It's
TikTok
$100
videos, like it's
Yeah, it's wild.
inevitable.
Actually,
Like
yeah.
you're
it's like you tell yourself
Well,
you're not
you
gonna.
don't even have to leave your house. You could just open up your laptop or your
Exactly.
iPhone or your phone and just ding. Okay,
yeah.
Easy peasy.
easy peasy.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
That's
So-
how life is dangerous.
Yeah.
You can even do grocery shopping online. How crazy is that?
I'm not gonna comment.
So
I'm a smart shopper. I don't like just.
Yeah, you actually are.
Yeah, like sorry. very off topic, but I was walking in Simon's and I saw this dress. And I'm like, it's so cute. And I look at the price, it was $9. It's not because I needed the dress. It was just like the principle. Have you guys ever bought a dress for $9.99? I
That
tried
will
it on.
save you
It fit like a glove. I'm like, you're coming home with me. Like,
Yeah.
you're coming home with me. And it was like, I felt good.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I, overspent.
That probably saved you like $100, $200, $300 for a next event.
Yeah.
So it
And
is
I'll
a
wear
smart
it maybe
purchase.
2-3 times. It's a black dress.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I'll pass it around like the sisterhood pants.
Yeah.
Whatever you call that.
Yeah, the sisterhood of the traveling pants.
There you
Something
go.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm gonna bring us back to topic.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. Great example.
Yeah.
So when you put in all of those monthly subscriptions, and like Gassia was saying, sometimes those monthly subscriptions change. Like Netflix is increasing their price, or you canceled something, you go back and you make those adjustments on your budget throughout the year. You're saying you look at it every day, which
Yeah.
is great.
Psychotic. I'm joking.
A little.
No, it's good. It's good.
I mean,
But
I
it's
wish.
good.
I wish.
It's
I
How
like wish.
if I don't look at it for a week, I'm off budget.
Yeah.
I'm off budget because you're just like, oh, this is $19. That's $20. That's oh, it's $500
And this
spent.
is how you're keeping yourself accountable, and this is how you're staying consistent, is because you're going, if you're going shopping or you're out, whatever, and you haven't looked at your budget for the past week or so, you don't know where you are on your budget at this point.
Yeah.
And so you're like, whatever, this, like you said, this is $5, let me just get it.
$9.99.
This dress is $9.99, let me just get it. But let's say, had you looked at your budget the day before, you maybe your thought wouldn't have been, this dress is $9.99, let me
I'm
get
still
it.
buying it.
Maybe your thought would have been, this dress is $9.99, it fits in my budget. So it's kind of like changing the way we think. I'm telling you, you would still have bought it, but you would have
If it was-
justified it differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it was $60, I would have been like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
But if it was $9.99
I'll
and
wait
it was
until you go on
$9.
sale.
Well, you'll
And you
definitely
forget about
buy
it.
it for $9. I'm not saying, like you always tell me how it's important to like live life as
Yeah,
well.
I say that all the time. The most important, like all of this stuff is super important, and it's the way to set ourselves up for success. But life is for living. I mean, if we can't have the little things, last week we were talking about instant gratification and instant satisfaction, and my nose is really itchy. But if we can't have those little things, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Why are we doing all of this? I think once you budget, once you maximize your gross pay, you get to your net pay, you budget your net pay. You put in your wants, your needs, you put in your savings, whatever the case may be, debt repayment, whatever it is, and you're left with a certain amount. Her priority is to invest. She budgets with the intention to invest. I like to invest, but that's not my main priority for me. I also have kids. I have a bunch of other expenses that she doesn't have. So, and I also look at money in a different way than she does. I just...
In what sense?
But I think everybody does, to be honest. Like everybody
I
has
don't-
a different.
Yes, everybody... I look at money as a tool.
I look at it that way.
But I think your definition of money as a tool is different than mine.
In what sense?
I think we should spend our money.
When we have enough.
Yes. So that's the distinction between you and I.
Like the boots she got last year or 2 years ago.
Which boots?
That
The Paris, Texas.
Does she regret them?
no, that you got them and she told you to.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
I had gotten
that's another episode.
I had gotten a pair of boots from Hermes,
Hermes.
and she made me return them because she called me.
No, I didn't call you anything. I just said it's a little too much.
She told me it's not a smart purchase.
Because in my opinion, I look at money as a tool, as what it could, in a comfortable way, like in a way that once I don't have to work hard for the money I'm earning,
Then you're not
then
gonna care.
I'm gonna spend.
Yes. And so I think your perception of it kind of changed my perception of it because I changed the way I spend money. But coming back to the point I was trying to make, I still think it's important to enjoy life and to live in the moment and to have those things that, even if it brings you joy for a couple of minutes, you know, it's a
That's
nice
my
few,
husband's motto.
it's a nice few minutes. But
Until the it stops going through. That's when you're like,
But also,
gotta-
no, but what I'm trying to say is that now, the way I look at it, is you have to do this exercise first. Do your budget, figure out what you're left with, and then allocate to your nice haves, to your little satisfactions, to do it after. Whereas before, a couple years ago, I would do it before.
yeah.
So I think that's how your perception of money has changed my perception of money and the way I look at the future, where, you know, like I said, 10 years ago, I didn't even think of the future. Now I'm in the future of the present 10 years ago, and, you know, shit could have been different. But circling back to my point, I do think that it's important to, you know, if you want to have that coffee on your way to work in the morning, you know, maybe instead of doing it every day, once you budget and you have that amount that you have for yourself every week or month, whatever it is, then you could be like, you know what, I'm gonna get the coffee on Tuesdays and Thursdays instead of every morning.
I understand what you're saying, and it's very
well, I find
valid.
it I find it ridiculous that the coffees are like $8. Sorry, $8.
Yeah.
I find that ridiculous. So I'm gonna make coffee at home and I'm gonna leave.
So there
No,
you
but-
go.
That's my
Yeah.
motto.
That's
You-
what I do every morning.
Well, yeah, you have a nice coffee machine. Everybody has,
I
I'm
love my
sure.
coffee.
Yeah, and like
you
have.
shouldn't stop yourself from buying little things. But
No,
I'm
but-
talking about, I'm not gonna upgrade my lifestyle when I earn a little cash, because I think people don't see money as a tool and they value it, and that's the reason why they spend the way they do. And it's not necessarily meaning that I invest hard and I love investing, but I also enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
And I also have a great life. I spend on whatever I want. Maybe I won't go to Hermes and buy this and that, but I love shopping. But also I think, like, what's the first thing you'll do when your income, your salary changes? Like, we talk about how expenses change. What's the first thing you do when your income changes?
So you want to know another funny story about my dumb decisions? When I started working, every time I got a new job or a raise, I went and bought myself something outrageous because I was like,
Well, you're celebrating yourself.
yeah, but doesn't make sense. Before I even got that first pay, I already bought that thing I wanted. To your point, but I think that's the wrong way to approach it.
My point of view is, yes, let's say I got a raise or I earned extra income. After taxes and whatever that's left, I'll allocate. This is not financial advice, it's just a wine talking, but I'll allocate 80% of that to my investments and savings, and the 20% I'll increase the room for my wants. But I won't upgrade my lifestyle and I won't make unnecessary purchases. I will make unnecessary purchases and upgrade my lifestyle like there's no tomorrow when I earn passive income through my investments, because I want a good life.
Okay.
My dream life is to have a good life.
Yeah.
Jeez, take a
So
sip.
there's a difference between having a lot of money and building wealth, and I think that's kind of.
I'm trying to build wealth, and this
Yeah.
is the only way to
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. I have no wine left.
Oh, okay.
do it. Pour some.
Okay.
What's the other question?
But yeah, that my question was, what's the first thing you do? Most people buy themselves something that they really want because they're like, oh, I deserve this. But what did you really do to deserve that?
Okay.
No, yeah, you worked hard, but you didn't invent anything.
You know what was the best part? Is when COVID, most of them lost their jobs,
Me.
and they were on
Me too.
on EI, and they would spend that money and they would buy themselves. Did you guys see those videos on
No.
TikTok or Instagram? They would take that money that the government sent them, and they would go to Holtz and buy a LV purse,
No, I never
Remember
saw
that?
that.
For sure, I
Right?
knew that people were buying like Louis
and
Vuitton.
they'd be like, "Thank you, Justin Trudeau."
Oh no, I did not see that.
But to your point, you know, in the situation like we went through, like the pandemic, when the government is sending money to help because you lost your job.
And people were quitting so they could stay at home.
Some people actually made smart financial decisions and bought real estate during.
Yeah, it's true. There was like a real estate war happening.
They
Crazy.
they
I wish.
made smart decisions.
Yeah. I could have bought my future house in 2020.
Yeah.
Now,
What before COVID?
Before COVID.
before COVID,
During
yeah.
If you
COVID,
bought
no,
real
'cause,
estate,
It's
you were gonna
skyrocketed.
overbid and then you would lose that.
Yeah.
Whatever, it's fine.
I think it's a matter of perspective.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
definitely.
I think I'm still in the process of doing the exercise, and I'm doing a lot better than I used to 10 years ago. But it's a learning process. There's so much information. There's so much out there. There's so many savings accounts. There's, you know, the topic of Gassia. You said that you put in some money in your joint account with your husband. So there's like the conversation of like being married and having a joint account or separate accounts. There's so many things to consider. So we're learning. This is the reason why we're having these conversations. This specific topic, what I think is super interesting for you, given that you're in the market for a new job. So I think it's a process, and we just gotta be open.
It's also like I feel like how spending makes us feel. Like it makes us feel good.
Yeah.
It's
You
a
just said-
shopping therapy.
Yeah, that's the yeah.
When I'm in a bad, when I used to be in a bad mood, I would just
Yeah,
go to
when?
the
What?
nearest store.
When
Now
you
I
used
haven't.
to?
I haven't done shopping therapy.
When you used to be in a bad mood, you said.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. When was that?
Now I take it easy and go watch TV.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I used to get out of the house and I would go to Home Sense, which I stopped. I
But
would buy
also-
something to make me happy, which was bad.
But it's how they make us feel, how spending makes us feel. Like, to be honest, like the sad truth is why people spend more than they save is this is the reason why. Like, look at it this way, like saving money is kind of like a solo game. Like, no one really knows how much you're setting aside. No one really knows how much is in your bank account. You're not even getting instant rewards or satisfaction because it's a long-term game. But then spending money, oh, you show people how I got that expensive car, I went on that nice trip, and it becomes a group activity because you get attention and even social validation.
This is
And this is what I
yeah,
think.
you got it like
Like,
right
you
on.
want to get that dopamine hit. Like, I'm a numbers girl, so like I want to get that dopamine hit from my account balance going up. So I think that's where you should want to get your dopamine hit rather than other people's validations.
Yeah.
I agree.
But that's just the, you know, the time we live in.
Yeah.
With how big social media is
Society.
in society. Like when I was in high school, there was MySpace. I don't think you girls even know what that is.
No, but you were saying like how back in the day when you would see a girl wearing like a LV bag, you guys would be like, "Oh my god!" Like, you know. Now it's people have it on a daily
Yeah,
basis, and who
every
knows if it's real or fake, right?
It doesn't even matter. The point is everyone has it.
Everybody could have hands like
But
everybody.
the
could...
reason everyone has it is because of what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally that. It's like a mental game that we're in, and how it's like it's not seen bad as you invest. Like I don't know if that made sense, but like it's like, oh, you're spending and you're doing great, but then you're saving. Oh, you're not. Like, you're in a tough position. You're trying to make it or save to have some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're.
I don't know if you can explain it in a better way, but like.
But it's not. It doesn't look cool to save and invest because it's not something we talk about openly. Maybe we should, but we just don't. You know, it's private. The numbers are private. No one's out there posting
Yeah.
their bank account amounts on the social media. You know, on Threads, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But the other aspect of it, when you're spending and you're accumulating these material things, you have something to show for it.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, to the public eye, when somebody sees you at Holt Renfrew dressed up to the nines with all of your designer, you know, even the workers there will look at you differently
Yeah.
versus me going there like this, but and you going there dressed up
in sweatpants.
but then, you know, what does it even mean?
Yeah. It's how so like it's social validation.
Yeah,
That's
exactly
the
right.
word. And to me, everyone has different perspectives. To me, that means nothing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to live a good life. I want luxurious things at the end. But to me, when we can both live the same lifestyle and you have all that, to me, it's like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if you invented something, which like when people invent
How
something,
happy she got.
like when people, it impresses me.
Climax.
Like you made a difference in your life. Go ahead and party on that yacht. Like, go ahead.
Okay.
On your Kim Air.
Oh yeah, fly to that yacht with Tel Air.
Okay. On that note, I have to take a call. Hello? Thanks for joining us. See you next week. We're still deciding on the topic, but I gave you some hints. Don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, share, comment, all of the above. Cheers.
See you next week.